Recording now.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to L.I.N.K Live. My name is Marina, Editor-in-Chief of Food Logistics and Supply and Demand Chain Executive. And I'm here as usual with my beautiful team. Very excited. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brielle Jakel. I'm the Associate Editor.
And I'm Mackenna Morales, and I am the Assistant Editor.
And I'm very excited because today is our Supply and Demand Chain Executives 20-year anniversary special. For those of you who may or may not know, this was our 20-year anniversary. And so all year up until this year, up until today, including till the end of the year, we've had some wonderful content online. Tons of videos, interviews, timelines, stories, everything, just commemorating the supply chain industry as a whole, everything that we've accomplished as an industry the past 20 years, everything that we've accomplished as a brand in the past 20 years. So I'm very, very excited. Before we kick off, I wanted to remind everybody on foodlogistics.com, our Rock Stars of the Supply Chain 2021 awards are now open. Nominations close October, I'm sorry, that's when they opened. They closed November 20th. So we do have a shortened nomination time frame. So please get those nominations on. That's foodlogistics.com. And then on Supply and Demand Chain Executive, we have our annual Pros to Know, and those close December 4th. So please keep an eye on those time frames, get those nominations in. We're very, very, very excited with brand new criteria, lots of wonderful things going on. We've seen some nominations coming through already for some great people. So very excited to see what this industry is all about. And speaking of Pros to Know, I'm going to toss it over to Mackenna, because Mackenna was kind of tasked with going back to our previous Pros to Know over the past 20 years and kind of interviewing them and seeing where they are with things, how the industry has evolved since they've been a part of it. And so Mackenna, what are some things that you kind of heard from the folks you talked to about what's going on in the industry the past 20 years?
Yeah, so this summer we did a Pros to Know, Where Are They Now? A series where we looked back at some of some of the standout pros over the last 20 years just to catch up on what they've been doing in their career. And a big theme of everything is that supply chain is actually named now, and people know what supply chain management is. And that has only happened within like the last 4 to 5 years too, not even within the last 20. It's more recent than that people actually know what the function is now. And we can say that is because of COVID or because of other crises that we've had to deal with, but people know what the function is and are understanding how important that is too.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to everything that's been going on in the industry too, you know, all the technology that's been fast-tracked to kind of help companies do their jobs. And those videos, they're video interviews, there's articles, they're all on our online, SDCEexec.com. And they're just fabulous interviews because these people who were doing great things 20 years ago are still doing great things 20 years later. And, you know, that's a testament to them. I know, Brielle, you worked on, you had a timeline, you put together this awesome timeline, you did some articles. What are some things that you kind of uncovered?
Yeah, I mean, I love history, so doing the timeline was really fun. That actually went beyond 20 years. That went from like basically the start of the supply chain in America. And, you know, I covered stuff like the first steam engine, the first cotton gin patent, all that stuff. So it was really interesting and it was really fun to make. And that's all interactive, so it's pretty cool. But I think one of the more important issues that I noticed or trends was how offshoring really happened within the last 20 years. You know, before that, everything was much closer, you know, to the consumer. You know, you would be buying locally, but it wouldn't, you know, you're not going to get your random purchase on Amazon for within a day, you know. So since then, as consumers become more demanding, as the internet and e-commerce becomes a thing, it's stretched a lot longer. So now everything is mostly offshore, and it's kind of, we've seen that bullwhip effect. You know, now people are interested in it getting closer. to the consumer, and you want your goods made locally and sourced locally. So it's interesting to see all of that. There's a lot of other things too, like I'm trying to think, because there's so many things that happened in the last 20 years. And I revisited a bunch of old articles and looked at, compared and contrasted. A lot of it was about sourcing and procurement. So I think that was like the number one thing that people were interested in when we first launched 20 years ago, was definitely sourcing and procurement, which kind of goes with that offshoring. People are procuring things from farther away now because it's become easier with the internet and, just the way things are. So I thought it was really eye-opening to see what exactly has changed. We all think about the internet, but it was interesting to see what that actually meant in terms of the supply chain.
One of the things that I learned while interviewing the pros to know was when I talked to Colonel Joseph Baldwin. He explained the military supply chain to me, and everything like clicked all of a sudden. And it kind of goes along with the shoring, because your military people, they need supplies as well. So they have distribution centers that are like ours where they can go and get their goods. But like in certain locations of Afghanistan, you can't drive up there, so they have to be dropped down. And the entire time during the interview, my jaw was just like wide open, because I've never thought about it before. And I had a boyfriend who was overseas fighting in the Afghanistan war, and one of his main jobs was to transfer the British generals to different stations. And I'm like, that's a part of the supply chain. That's it. And so it was just like a light switch went off, and it all started to make sense to me, because it's in every industry. And I think that's a big thing that I learned talking to the pros, because they were all in different sectors, and but it all related to one another.
Right. And now, like you guys were saying, it's so everyone's more aware of the supply chain, whereas like 2 years ago, no one, you have all heard the term logistics and supply chain and stuff like that, but no one actually knew what it meant. But since COVID, now everyone really understands.
Yeah. And we also, in honor of our anniversary, we also introduced L.I.N.K Educate, which is a sub channel of our L.I.N.K podcast channel, which is where Mackenna and Brielle interviewed, professors of the supply chain, students and veterans. And, what I learned from that is that, these people have been teaching about the supply chain for many years. And, COVID kind of brought to light, the importance of being an essential worker. But, it's kind of a compounded thing now, because they're trying to teach how to be in a supply chain working remote, which is kind of the future as of right now. Everybody's kind of remote. Some companies have announced they're going to be remote well into 2021. We don't know what's going on with schools. And so it's kind of a different kind of a dynamic. And it's been very interesting from my vantage point to see the industry kind of come together and really, do their part to make sure everybody has what they need to continue being at home. And I think that that's important to understand. So when you're at sdcexact.com, we have a 20-year anniversary sub-channel. Please go to it and check out all of the wonderful videos and interviews and podcasts. Tons of great information on there. And while you're on our website, make sure you also download our L.I.N.K podcast channel, because Brielle has been getting some great topics up there: mental health in the supply chain, just overall outsourcing, procurement, all of that stuff. So I think that's just some cool stuff that we're also doing. And then obviously awards. And then if you're feeling really groovy, you can go to supplychain.networkmediakit.com and you can download our media kits and our editorial calendars. I know they always laugh at me. I ignore it. Everybody laughs at me. I'm just joking. Because
If you're feeling groovy.
You're feeling really groovy. We have our prints and our digital calendars. So make sure you get a hold of those, because we have tons of opportunities for interviews, articles, bylines, awards. Speaking of awards, in honor of our 20-year anniversary, we also launched our Women in Supply Chain Award, which was just dynamite. Such the wonderful feedback from the winners, from people that are part of the industry. It was so heartfelt and so moving to be a part of something that celebrates women, and to hear how they feel seen and heard and recognized is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So that's also on the calendar for next year and continues to do it. And McKenna's doing some video interviews on those as well. So check those out every Thursday with some of our top winners, because it's very interesting to see, you know, the evolution of the supply chain is interesting, but now women are becoming, you know, more included. And so I think that there's something to be said for that. So I'm very excited for all that. So, and thank you to my wonderful staff for just rolling up your sleeves and innovating and being creative and just doing everything that we're trying to do here on food logistics and supply and demand chain executive. So I'm very excited for 2021, what's to come. I'm very excited for what's to come the rest of the year. What am I missing? I'm always missing something.
You have not promoted your STN Summit.
Yes, SDN Summit, people. October 27th is our professional development series. And then, which will be launching the link soon, we're having the Future of Supply Chain Week. So the first week of December is an entire week of SDN Summit on transportation, warehousing, supply chain visibility, cannabis, and the future of the supply chain. So I'm very, very excited. Free registration for all. Very, 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 very excited. Thank you for that. I can't believe I forgot. What else?
Follow our social media platforms.
Yes.
Apply to the awards.
Yes. Get those pros to know awards in. The nominations in, get the Rockstar, the Supply Chain Awards in. While you're on our website, you can see all the awards. We redesigned our whole awards page, very excited. So everything is kind of laid out, and it shows you when the awards open, when they close. It gives you the PDF so that you can preview the nomination form. So everything is user-friendly, but of course, any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We are always, my door is always open.
Sure.
Feeling groovy. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Thank you for your support. Thank you ladies for everything that you do. Make sure you check out all of our content, our videos, follow us, all of that, because we have some good things cooking and I'm very, very excited. So thank you again, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central. Thank you very much.
And cheers to another 20 years.
Yes.